If dating suddenly feels exhausting, pointless, or like no one really sees you, it has nothing to do with you being broken or there being something wrong with you. It's because you've outgrown the version of you that used to settle for surface level connections. And until you understand what's really shifting inside of you, dating will continue to feel like it's just not working anymore. Welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to speak about something that a lot of people are silently struggling with. And that is, why does dating feel harder than ever before? Even though it seems like you're doing everything that you can to attract a good partner, like why does it feel this way? Maybe you're doing the best that you can to meet new people, but the connections just are feeling shallow. The conversation feels like there's no depth, and maybe like you're not really attracted to the people that you feel like you used to be attracted with. I know this is something that I went through, in my life, as far as realizing that like the people that I was attracted with at one point in time actually didn't support me in the way that I really needed. In this video, we're going to explore the deeper reasons why dating doesn't feel like it's working anymore. Not the obvious surface level stuff, but the internal shifts, the subconscious patterns, and the emotional growth that you're moving through that doesn't allow you to connect with people in the same way you once did. If you've been frustrated or confused or just fed up with dating, then this video is for you. So the first reason why dating isn't working for you right now is because you've simply outgrown surface level dating, and you reached a point where you're craving emotional depth within the person that you're with. Modern dating often revolves around quick impressions, instant chemistry, and shared interests. But when you start to grow emotionally and spiritually, those surface level things don't really matter anymore, and they no longer really feel meaningful. You might be craving emotional safety or intellectual stimulation, alignment of your core values, or just a deeper sense of spiritual and emotional awareness, or a deeper spiritual or inner world connection. So when your inner world really evolves, which really happens from like emotional growth and spiritual growth, your inner world naturally evolves. And when this happens, your standards raise. Your standards for the connections that you have in life, your friends, and especially the person that you're going to spend your life with, like your standards are going to raise when you start to become more spiritually or emotionally advanced within yourself. And it's not like, oh, I'm advanced, I can't align with these people anymore. No, it's just like you know yourself and you know the people that you want to have in your life, and like you know that like you want to have a strong emotional and spiritual connection with someone, and when you have that, everything else falls into place. For once, like me, I used to really be attracted to maybe like I was a hippie, like in college, and I loved festivals, and so I was attracted to like that the girl that was just a free spirit, and maybe did some hula hooping or something. But I realized as I grew spiritually, I was doing Reiki classes at the time, and as I grew spiritually, I realized that my core values weren't necessarily being met within the person that I was with. And so while we shared all these interests in music and festivals and crystals and things like that, like the core values didn't align. The emotional depth wasn't there. And so like it was a very clear crack that appeared within our relationship, and we started to grow apart. So again, your standards have just raised. You're no longer willing to just embrace the minimum in a relationship. Like you want to be emotionally met in the same place. You want to be spiritually in alignment with this person, and have the same core values with them in your belief system. Reason number 2 for why dating just isn't feeling good is because your relationship with yourself isn't matching the relationship that you're searching for. So I'm going to break down why this leads to having a relationship that you actually don't desire with someone. So most people in the world today are seeking from other people to gain stability, validation, a sense of comfort, They want someone else to make them feel good. They need someone else to emotionally ground them, but they aren't actually giving those things to themselves. They're not validating themselves or giving themselves clarity or learning how to do that. And so when you go about relationships in this way, it oftentimes leads to miscommunication, codependency, repeating patterns from old relationships or family dynamics that aren't healthy, and attachment wounds that don't actually support you in growing emotionally and spiritually. So this is just a logical perspective. When you think about that, the quality of your dating life oftentimes reflects the quality of the relationship that you have with yourself. So if you don't have a great relationship with yourself, you're going to attract people that are in the same boat as you. They're looking externally for validation. They don't know how to ground themselves emotionally. They need clarity outside of themselves. And so, yeah, this is why, in my opinion, the divorce rate is so high, is because, yeah, people didn't understand this. People didn't understand that they didn't need to seek these things within someone else, that they can really seek within to give themselves the validation, the emotional grounding, the clarity, the love. Yeah, like to give all those things to yourself and create a life where you're aware of what you need without needing that from someone else. So in the end, when you're disconnected from yourself in this way, relationships will oftentimes both become confusing and just unfulfilling for you. Our final reason why dating might not feel good for you right now is that you're repeating old patterns in a completely changed landscape. Dating has just evolved. We're no longer operating in the same way. We communicate differently than we once did, and the pace of relationships has drastically changed. Yeah, just personally, when I look at how Hannah and I connected, yeah, it was very quick, but it was also like we realized that this was actually what we were looking for all along, and we didn't need to hesitate and like go into old patterns of questioning ourselves. And yeah, like we knew that this was something different than we had never experienced before, based on how we were immediately able to connect emotionally, and we were committed to understanding each other emotionally, which sometimes, yeah, that's not possible. Even if you commit to understand each other, there's always some misunderstanding. So if you're trying to force emotional connection, then yeah, it might not be the best person that's meant to complement you emotionally and support you in growing emotionally. And if you want to grow emotionally and your partner doesn't, or someone that you're interested doesn't, it might not be a good fit for you. Which brings me to the point of like repeating old patterns. If you're repeating old patterns in relationships, then oftentimes you'll get the same results. So this came up very early on in our connection, where I noticed that like I was repeating an old pattern from an old relationship that was causing me to not feel safe in expressing my emotions, when actually I was completely safe, and the container that our relationship was in was a safe container for me to open up emotionally. But if you don't feel safe and then you don't open up emotionally with someone who actually wants you to, then that's kind of like repeating an old pattern. Oftentimes in families, emotions will get just shoved under the rug, then that there never is like direct communication about something big that happened. And that's an old pattern that, like, if you're trying to get to know someone on an emotional level and be able to emotionally support them, you have to open up emotionally. And so this is a really big thing in the dating world today, as far as like really, if you want to get to know someone like on a deep level, then talking about your emotions and how you feel about certain things that they're doing or not doing is essential if you want to grow in that relationship. One other big thing that happens is you attract people based on old, outdated versions of yourself. And so at one point in time in your life, you might have been attracted to a certain person, certain type of person. And then as you evolve and you grow, that attraction kind of fades away for that type of person. But yeah, some of you might hold on to the idea that you need someone that is a certain way, when in fact, like, when you surrender that control and embrace yourself in a deeper way, then you learn more about who it is that is really meant to be in your life. So the bottom line is to not be too attached to who you think you should be with, because then it closes your vision to a point where you're only focused on one type of person, and you're ignoring the possibility that, that like there might be someone that's better for you and it's actually more of what you wanted. So when you're growing emotionally or spiritually, your dating patterns need to change with you and evolve with you. What used to work no longer fits. So if you think like, going to the bar to meet someone is still gonna work even though you've grown massively, like that might not be the place where you meet your person. Maybe it is, but it's just important to recognize like that as you grow spiritually, oftentimes like you'll need to change the way that you and just evolve in the way that you interact with people. Like not having expectations on how things should happen or shouldn't happen, and being able to trust like that what you really are after is someone that understands you emotionally, and can grow with you spiritually and emotionally, and where you can both like hold each other accountable to growing and attracting the life that you want together, and that should align seamlessly. It's always a good idea to just release control over like how you go about attracting your person, or how you go about finding your person, and simply focus on like the things that you love, and then like those things will always provide clarity for you. And like when you're in that flow of doing what you love, it can be very easy to attract a conversation or an interaction that is meant for you. And then you can listen to that feeling that that tells you like there's something here to explore. Thanks a lot for spending time with me today. If anything in this video resonated with you, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. And feel free to share in the comments what you're moving through in your dating journey. Always happy to hear and provide some feedback for you. And like we're here to support you and learning more about growing emotionally and spiritually, and if that's something that you desire to do, we'd love to support you. And there'll be links down below where you can book a free intro call, get to know us a little bit more. If you subscribe, check out more of our videos. There's tons of free content here for you. So until next time, be sure to stay aligned with who you're becoming, and trust that the right connections will meet you along your path. All right, bye-bye.